Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. This is Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is proud to be the official wireless sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. And by Iowa Secretary of State. Visit voterready.iowa.gov and be a voter. Now, here is your host, the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
And welcome in, everybody. Gary Dolphin and our engineer-producer, Corey Sheets. We're here high atop Kinnick Stadium in the press box, our broadcast booth, awaiting Kirk Ferentz' arrival about 7 o'clock tonight. And welcome into another week of Hawk Talk. We're brought to you by View Rooftop, our presenting sponsor. View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. We look forward to seeing all of our Hawkeye friends next year for Hawk Talk. But until then, stop by on football Saturdays to View Rooftop and experience that new, unique environment with comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating, HD TVs, high definition, for watching the game and live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn. The Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. Call for reservations at 319-519-4650. We'll be joined here shortly by Greg Sharp. He's the play-by-play voice of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And then a little bit later on, Phil Parker, Iowa's longtime venerable defensive coordinator, will join us and talk about that white-hot Hawkeye defense. Iowa's playing as good as it can, or, well, Coach Parker wouldn't say that, but they're pretty close to perfection here, at least the last 3 weeks, allowing 7 points to Michigan State. A late touchdown to Minnesota that avoided the shutout. And then, of course, last week on the road at State College, a 41-21 win over the Penn State Nittany Lions. When you're playing that kind of defense, usually you're going to come out on top. The offense continues to sparkle, especially in the running game. Spencer Petras continues to gain valuable experience. And what can you say about special teams, particularly punter Torrey Taylor? He's been outstanding. He's number 2 in the Big Ten this week with a near 46-yard average. Keith Duncan has been money more often than not. The Hawks have outstanding punt coverage teams. Kick return got him for a few yards last week, but on balance, no complaints here, as Iowa's averaged 42 points in this 3-game winning streak, and they look to add to that as here come the Huskers from Lincoln, Iowa, Nebraska, in the renewal of the Heroes rivalry game. It's a trophy game. The Heroes Trophy that Iowa's had in its possession now for 5 consecutive years, and they look to make it 6. Obviously, Nebraska wants to turn that series the other way. Nebraska comes off a disappointing loss to the Fighting Illini of Illinois last week in Lincoln. And I know they're not happy about that out in Husker country, so why don't we go out and talk to Greg Sharp, the longtime terrific play-by-play voice of Nebraska football. Greg, that had to be a tough one for you, but more so for Coach Frost and the players. 5 turnovers jumped off the stat sheet at me by Nebraska. That's not Nebraska.
Oh boy, you do that, you're asking for danger. Good to be with you, Gary. And you're right. That sums up that game pretty well. I mean, you lose the turnover battle 5-0. You're not going to beat anybody in this league. And Lovie Smith's team came in motivated after they got their first win the week before over Rutgers, and they also got Brandon Peters back at quarterback, and he was terrific. I had not seen Brandon Peters play that well in his college career, either at Michigan or at Illinois last year. So he played well, but you shoot yourself in the foot that many times, you're going to get beat.
You turned Penn State over in the first half 2 weeks ago and got you off to a great start. What was the issue with the turnovers? I know McCaffrey had one right out of the gate, didn't he?
He did. An odd play. He was kind of doing one of those RPOs where he was running down the line and he was trying to throw it out in the flat. Looked to me that it looked like he had gone past the line of scrimmage and threw it about a yard ahead, but they ruled it a fumble, and Illinois got the short field, immediately punched in a touchdown. Huskers did. respond with a 75-yard touchdown drive to tie it at 70. Thought, okay, here we go. But then more mistakes, and McCaffrey just making his second start, made a couple of those. Adrian Martinez, the quarterback the last couple of years for Nebraska, came in late in the game and led the team on a touchdown drive. And there's some doubt who will start at quarterback on Friday against the Hawks, because both of those guys have started games this year, and I'm not sure which way the coach is leaning here 2 days out.
Yeah, that was my next question. I know Martinez has had success against Iowa. If he gets outside the box, he's lethal against anybody with his feet. Iowa, would like him to more throw the football than run it. But how is he healthy? I mean, has he shucked those injuries from that have plagued him for the first couple years of his career?
He is. He's healthy. He's just not kind of taken that step forward. I think we probably saw the best football out of him as a true freshman. I thought he plateaued last year. He started the first 2 games of this season, threw a critical interception into the end zone against Northwestern in the second half when Nebraska was driving to take the lead against the Wildcats. Then he got lifted from the game, and they went with McCaffrey to finish that game out. And then McCaffrey started the Penn State game and led the Huskers to a win, and started last week, but then made a lot of mistakes, had 3 interceptions that he threw. And so it was back to Martinez to finish the game. So I think Nebraska's trying to figure out which one gives them the best chance to win week in and week out. McCaffrey's a better runner than Martinez. Not that Martinez is a bad runner. You guys have seen him. He can certainly scramble, a good dual threat quarterback. But Adrian's probably a better passer. And so it's a tough call, because they're both really competitive kids and both really popular guys on this football team.
Well, I heard Coach Frost say earlier in the week that McCaffrey's the future of the program, and so if you ride that horse, you've got to live with the mistakes. What I found interesting is the run game isn't what I'm used to seeing out of Nebraska, Greg. And we're talking with Greg Sharp, the play-by-play voice of the Huskers on the Husker Radio Network. But Dedrick Mills, a senior, he's averaging 3 yards a carry. Is what's going on? Is the offensive line beat up? Do they have some issues? What?
Mills is hurt, did not play at all against Illinois. Got hurt early in the Penn State game. But the running game for Nebraska has been quarterback generated in their first 4 games. It's been from Martinez and McCaffrey. In fact, those are the 2 leading ball carriers on this team. But I think that's a problem. I think you need to have a good balance, and Nebraska doesn't have that right now. I don't know if Mills will play Friday against the Hawks, but you're right. It's not been as good as it needs to be for this offense to really hum. They're playing an awful lot of young guys on that side of the ball, Gary. Last week they started a true freshman and running back in Marvin Scott. His backup was a redshirt freshman in Ramir Johnson. You got McCaffrey was a redshirt freshman. You got 3 or 4 wide receivers that are either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. So they're going through growing pains right now, and that can be painful in this conference, as you know, with as good a football as is played in this league week in and week out. And that's what really impresses me about Iowa. I think this is the best rushing team I've seen Iowa have for quite a while. I love the way they've been able to get their ground game cranked up here the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and kudos to Tim Palashik, the offensive line coach, because Tristan Wirfs left a year early for the NFL, and he seems to be doing pretty good protecting Tom Brady down in Tampa, but they lost a couple of other linemen. But that offensive line has really melded here the last couple of weeks, Greg, and that has helped that run game as much as anything. Now, obviously, Tyler Goodson is a terrific back. In fact, he had his career high last year out in Lincoln against the Huskers, 115, 120 yards, somewhere in there. And Mekhi Sargent has been very valuable and very solid. But yeah, I think I read looked at the numbers. You're playing at times 6 freshmen or 6 first-year players on offense, and that can put a lot of pressure on the defense. And you've got some good people on that side of the ball. What has stuck out to you about the Husker defense this year?
Well, they've been okay at times. They have not been very good at getting off the field. They're allowing teams to convert third downs 54% of the time, and that's not winning football either. So that has to get better. And even on that side of the ball, there's some young kids playing. I think really if you look at Nebraska's roster, they really like what they got out of the 2019 class, and they like this 2020 class. But it's hard to make a living initially when you're playing so many young guys on both sides of the ball. But I think the defensive line has been pretty good. Nebraska graduated 3 players that are in the NFL now. The Davis twins, who played an awful lot of football in Nebraska, both now into the National Football League, and Darian Daniels is now with the San Francisco 49ers. So they had a lot to replace up front. I think they're getting about as good a linebacker play as they've had for quite a while. But if you can't get yourself off the field and get the ball back to your offense, it makes life tough. And that was a big problem last week. Illinois was really good on third downs in that game and kind of played takeaway from Nebraska for most of the game.
Will Honus is a terrific linebacker. He's got to be typically one of your leading tacklers anyway. That at 3-4, it's wonderful when it works. But like you said, if you've had injuries and poor numbers on third down, the longer you spend on the field, as you know, the more weary you get. Markel Dismuke has been in that secondary for you a long time. He's solid, a senior out of California. How's the back end been playing? Boodle and Cam Taylor-Britt, names we're familiar with.
Yeah, that's probably the strength of this defense right now. They've done a good job, did a great job against Penn State, forced some turnovers, as you mentioned earlier, against the Nittany Lions. So that group's been pretty good. It's not been perfect, but it's been pretty solid for them. Still need to get somebody to the quarterback a little bit more often than they've been able to do these first couple of weeks. But this will be an interesting week for Nebraska because they got kind of whipped at home last week by Illinois. Now you got a rivalry game with Iowa. Can you get yourself righted? Can you get yourself fired up and ready to play? Those are kind of the questions that have been circulating around Lincoln this week. Can Nebraska emotionally get themselves up off the deck and ready to play a red-hot Iowa team on Friday?
Yeah, the Hawks are playing well. And as we let Greg Sharp depart here, the longtime play-by-play voice of Nebraska football, isn't it ironic that this game got moved off of Black Friday, that they decided, okay, we're going to play different opponents, different dates on the calendar, and then because of COVID, not only they put it back, not only is Iowa playing Nebraska about the same time of the year, but the day after Thanksgiving.
Love it. I love it. I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's great. I think this has been a lot of fun. It's wonderful exposure for both programs because there's not a lot of games on that Friday. So many people get a long weekend off of work, so a lot of people are looking for something to do and watch, and I think it's great for both teams. And my goodness, Gary, we've had 2 terrific games the last 2 years that have come down to the final play of the game, and so that's great theater, and I think it's really good for both programs.
Greg, thanks so much for your time and your insight. We'll look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Sounds good, Gary. Thanks.
There he goes, Greg Sharp, the longtime outstanding football play-by-play voice of the Nebraska Husker Radio Network, with his perspective on what's going on out in Lincoln. Coach Frost and his staff, they've got some issues going on out there. I note that Oliver Martin got into the game. Oliver left the Iowa program last year and got on the field last week for a few minutes, caught a couple passes for Nebraska, and perhaps the Iowa defense sees him running crossing routes on Friday. By the way, that's a 10 o'clock airtime here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, noon for the kickoff, as the Hawks go for win number 4 in a row. How well is Iowa playing? We'll get into that when we come back here on Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz right after this pause.
The wait for the holidays is over, America. It's time to make some joy. And we're here to help with the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event. We're offering the best deals of the season across the Ford lineup, so you can road trip with the whole family comfortably in a Ford Expedition. Bring home a tree that's bigger than you ever have with a Built Ford Tough F-150. And find new ways to make the holidays bright this year when you visit your local Ford dealer. The joy is up to you, America, so let's get to it. Ford, built for the holidays.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialists right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
When you fire up a John Deere 1 Series tractor, you can tackle the job without wrestling the attachments. Hook up everything from a front loader to a drive-over mower deck to a backhoe without wasting any time at all. So you can haul gravel, till soil, cut grass, or do any job in between. Because when things just click, work just gets done. Nothing runs like a Deere. Run with us. Stop by your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today or learn more at Deere.com. Your Iowa John Deere dealers, proud sponsors of Iowa football.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Tomorrow. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, as we have for over 100 years. So you can look forward to it too. Through growth and innovation, we are planning ahead, so you can enjoy life without looking back. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Auto, home, farm, and business insurance. Talk to an agent today or visit GrinnellMutual.com. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
What does Julie, who runs a thriving local business, have in common with the starting quarterback? They both know how to hustle. As a small business owner, you rise before the sun and push till well after it sets. Outpace and defy expectations. Every quarterback needs a great team. UPS is here to support the hustle with tools and expert advice to help you be unstoppable. Visit ups.com/pivot for details. UPS, the official logistics partner of the Hawkeyes. Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. He'll be joining us at the top of the hour. Iowa, Nebraska playing for the Heroes Game trophy on Friday. The winner claiming that beautiful piece of hardwood. The trophy game between the Hawks and the Cornhuskers got going in 2011, and since its inception, the Hawks have won 6 of the 9 meetings. So this will be the 10th anniversary, Iowa and Nebraska. So we'll look forward to that call at noon on Friday, right here at Kinnick Stadium. We're in the press box across the way at the Hanson Performance Center is Coach Kirk Ferentz and defensive coordinator Phil Parker, who just runs the other way when the camera or the microphone gets switched on. He's a shy guy. He likes to hide out and just scheme defensively all day long. And he joins us now for a couple minutes. He's agreed to come into the limelight and the spotlight and take credit for what has been an outstanding defensive effort. Do you agree with me?
Agree with you where, Gary. Hey, it's good to see you. Hope things are going well. And right now our kids are, just got done with a meeting with them, and it seems like we're on track, and they had a good practice today. Had a couple good practices all this week, so really pleased the way they're working.
Phil, you've been helping coordinate with Norm Parker, and now your defenses for many, many years. Iowa seemingly always ends up in the top 3 or 4 statistically, every category, every key defensive category in the Big Ten at the end of the year. What is it about this defense, and I understand we're only through 4 or 5 games, what is it about this defense that has pleased you consistently?
I tell you what, the improvement of from the start of the season, from two-a-days, or the preseason until now, the improvement every week. And I would say that the last 4 weeks of practice, 5 weeks, going on 5 weeks right now, that these guys have really been practicing at a high level. Not perfect, but they're playing with a lot of high energy, and they're practicing well together and holding everybody accountable the way they practice. And really enjoy to see them, in the film room and also on the field, the way they interact.
The Iowa defense is allowing 16 points a game, just 215 yards passing. Total defense right up near the top at 319 a game, and Iowa's ranked number 4 in rush defense at 102 yards a game. I don't know if any of those stats please you most, but they always say you got to stop the run first and run the football. And you guys are stopping the run right now, Phil.
Yeah, I tell you what, the statistics part of it, about our job is to make sure we keep the points off the off the board. The most important part is right now is obviously winning, and the winning streak here, 3 in a row, is good. And the biggest thing that we're focused on is trying to play the best we can. And, stopping a run is, you don't want people to run the ball on you, make it hard to throw the ball. And I think our guys have been working really hard to get that thing done. And I'm happy and pleased the way they've all been coming together and giving us the best chance to have a chance to win and be successful.
Hawkeye defensive coordinator Phil Parker with us for a couple more minutes. Davion Nixon, he's right near the top in the conference in tackles for loss with 8.5. Zach Van Valkenburg is tied for third with 6.5 tackles for loss. And then Chauncey Golston, who's long and lanky and can jump. He's got tip passes. He's got 6 tackles for loss. You're number 3 in scoring defense, pass defense, and total defense. It starts up front, doesn't it? I mean, and I'm not talking about Nixon's touchdown run last week. That was a spectacular thing of artistic work. But you've got guys up front that can stop the run, guys that can get pressure from the outside. Joe Evans, I should throw Joe in there. You've got other guys that you rotate in there. But that front four, those 8 guys have played awfully well for you on balance.
Well, I tell you what, Kelvin and Jay, they do a great job with those guys up front, and they get them in the right spots, do a great job coaching them. And obviously, I think the leadership that is coming through the defensive line has really been good for us. They're having fun. Obviously, Nixon, I think he needed a oxygen tank after that one that he ran back, but that was very impressive of anybody of any size trying to run it back like that. And I was very fortunate to get in the end zone, and I was excited for him. But I think they're doing a great job up there. And it all comes down to the coaching of, between Jay and Calvin.
How about the secondary? It's not all secondary, but you lead the nation in interceptions, 63 63 picks since 2017, Phil, most of any college team in the country. You've got 10 picks this year. Why the spike in interceptions? Where do you look for the positive notes there?
Well, I think any time that you stop the run, there's going to have to be more opportunities to put the ball in the air. And I think our guys do a good job of preparing and understanding what they need to do. And the more zone defense that we play, and we're kind of a matchup zone quarters team, not much straight man-to-man. And the more zone eyes you have, the more opportunities that you have for interceptions. And obviously it's the pressure up front that comes from the front 4 guys, how they put pressure on it and make them throw some, probably passes that they don't want to throw. And our guys have been very optimistic as far as saying, hey, this is a team game. And, those interceptions are part of the pressure that they put on up front.
Phil, lastly, I know it was important to get Seth Benson and Jack Campbell back out on the field. What do they bring to the table? They're young linebackers. They're aggressive. What do you like about their future?
Well, I think they're guys that, one thing about the linebacker group, I think it's a close-knit group. I think Seth Wallace does a great job with those guys and have them playing at a high level. And either one of the guys can go out there and play. And you look at, Nick Neiman also, another guy that's in there. So those 3 are the top guys right there. They do a great job. And I'm just pleased what kind of energy they bring, the attitude, every day to practice. And it's really impressive if you're sitting here at a practice and watching them practice all day and say that they're going hard all the time.
Yeah, complimentary football. Nick Neiman with 16 tackles last week. Well, that defensive football team is on a roll, and, of course, it takes all 3 phases to win. And, Coach, keep it up. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and all Hawkeye fans. Phil Parker, Iowa's longtime outstanding defensive coordinator, our guest here on the Kirk Ferentz Show, Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. By the way, thanks to KCRG 9.2, you're able to view everything we're bringing to you tonight at KCRG 9.2. You can view the entire show on YouTube.com. Just search the Hawkeye Radio Network. And if you have a question or a comment for Kirk, you can reach us on Twitter or on Facebook. Twitter, the address is @GaryDolphin. On Facebook, it's @Voice of the Hawks. We'll step out. Coach Ferentz is right around the corner. Come back with more Hawk Talk on this Thanksgiving Eve. Right after this pause, we're brought to you by View
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye Games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
Farm Credit Services of America isn't just a lender that knows agriculture. We're a lender that serves agriculture. It's everything we do. So along with attractive rates, you'll find ag-friendly terms, services, and financial tools made just for you. You can also get the power of ownership, a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and a share of our net return. Call us. We're Farm Credit Services of America. Agriculture works here.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC Insurance Companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Small businesses across Iowa are continuing to show up for you. They're adapting, they're donating, they're keeping their doors and their hearts open to assist their employees and serve their customers, just like they always have. Small businesses are the backbone of Iowa's communities, and they're backed by Iowa banks. With helpful advice, affordable loans, and essential financial services, banks across Iowa are showing small businesses the way to a stronger tomorrow. Learn more at iowabankers.com.
Sometimes being an office printer feels like I'm competing in an Olympic sport. Thankfully, I have Marco's Managed Print Services on my team. Marco's game plan helps me make big plays while saving big bucks. And Marco's lightning fast tech support gets me back in the game fast. I'm up. Find out what your printers could be saying with Marco's Managed Print Services at marconet.com.
Imagine a virtual club that's free to join, where the fun never stops and where there's always something new and exciting happening. It's the Prize Zone, a special part of the Iowa Lottery VIP Club that'll make your VIP experience even VIP-ier. Members can enter Prize Zone drawings for cash, technology, lottery tickets, concert tickets, and sports ticket prizes all day, every day, all year long. Get rules and complete details at ialottery.com. Join today and see what's waiting for you in the VIP Club Prize Zone.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. I'm Gary Dolphin. Our engineer producer is Corey Sheets. And we're live from our broadcast booth at Kinnick Stadium due to the COVID, of course. We're social distancing, but our presenting sponsor this year is View Rooftop. And we look forward to seeing to downtown Iowa City. Great panorama, top of the Hilton Garden Inn of Johnson County and the Iowa City skyline. Comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating if the weather's appropriate. And it looks like it's going to be, in the 40s for that Iowa-Nebraska game on Friday. So catch it on the tube since you can't get in the building, and listen to it on the Hawkeye Radio Network high-definition televisions for watching everything, including college football. And live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in Iowa City. Here's a phone number for reservations, 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. Hawk fans, football game programs are digital and free this year. That's right, free to download on any device. Just go to HawkeyeSports.com and click on Game Day Live. You can download the digital program there and watch our pregame special beginning 2 hours before kick. We'll be live at 10 o'clock Friday morning here from Kinnick Stadium. Plus, you'll get updated stats throughout the game, and you can even watch Podolak and Dolphin live and watch as we call the game on Friday. Hopefully a victory over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So much to see this year on Game Day Live. Check it out by going to HawkeyeSports.com and click on Game Day Live. Again, if you need to get a comment or a question to Coach, we certainly welcome those. You can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or through Facebook at Voice of the Hawks. Nebraska comes in winners of one football game, 1-3 on the year for Scott Frost. He's in his third season out in Lincoln. And this week, of course, you know, Nebraska football, traditionally one of the strong programs in the history of the game, one of a half a dozen with 900 wins overall. But it's been a struggle this year. And as you just heard Greg Sharp, the play-by-play voice of the Huskers, allude to, they're playing a lot of youngsters, a lot of first-year players, especially on the offensive side of the football. But 5 turnovers, man, that's a lot of turnovers. That'll get you beat every Saturday, and that Illinois defense took advantage of that young Nebraska offense. Hopefully the Hawkeye defense can do the same coming up this weekend, 10 o'clock for the pregame and noon for the kickoff here from Kinnick Stadium. After that, the Hawks travel to Illinois, another border battle, and then conclude the regular season with the Wisconsin Badgers here in Kinnick Stadium. Big picture, there's another more than a handful of games that are postponed or canceled this weekend, including a couple in the Big Ten that we'll talk about as the evening wears on. We'll step out, take another break. When we come back, Coach Ferentz will join us from his office on Hawk Talk with the head coach.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
University of Iowa Healthcare urges you to follow the 3 W's to stop the spread of COVID-19. Wear a mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands often. More tips at uihc.org. University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you. For flu-like symptoms, call our 24-hour COVID-19 hotline at 319-384-9010 before seeing a provider.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
It's been a long day. Your schedule's tight. Can we just take care of dinner for you? Quick Start has take-home meals, not cheap flash frozen stuff. Made from scratch, fresh, never frozen. Great quality because we make it ourselves. Grab a meal now to heat and eat later. Great kitchen cravings meals like fettuccine Alfredo with grilled chicken, meatloaf with mashed potatoes and gravy, roast turkey with dressing and mashed potatoes. I feel a meal, a great family meal coming on that you didn't even have to cook. Quick Start, we got you covered.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Now order your groceries online and get them even faster with Hy-Vee Aisles Online same-day pickup. Just choose the Get It Faster option for only $9.95 and pick up your groceries in as little as 2 hours. Plus, we've added even more pickup times to choose from. You'll find the same great deals as in-store. Free pickup on orders over $30 and no-contact pickup and delivery. Download the Hy-Vee Grocery app today and pick up groceries in as little as 2 hours. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving. Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. I'm Gary Dolphin. Before we welcome in Kirk, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the Hawkeye Radio Network. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. We've got most of our stations carrying Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. Some are airing the Iowa women's basketball game, which is going on right now against Northern Iowa over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And if you missed it earlier today, right here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, the Iowa men opened their season. The number 5 Iowa Hawkeyes throttled North Carolina Central 97-67. Luka Garza just picked right up where he left off 8 months ago with 26 points. 10 rebounds, couple steals, 3 block shots, something else. The Hawkeye women lead Northern Iowa 31-30 at halftime. That game started around 6:30 tonight. All right, we're up to date there. I mentioned more than a handful of games postponed or canceled this weekend because of the COVID. One of those is for Paul Bunyan's Axe, Minnesota at Wisconsin, the longest continuous series in college football, something like 120 years, and that will not be played this year because of the COVID. Minnesota, it's more so at their end. The Gophers have north of 20 players that are on the sideline after testing positive. So we sympathize with anybody who can't play. As Kirk likes to say each and every week, we're playing a game. And Coach, it's the world we're living in right now, and it seems like we lead off with this every week. First off, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and the Hawkeyes, and let's hope Friday gets here and we can play a game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it really struck me out last week when people mentioned Thanksgiving. You're at that point. We played 4 games, and it's just one more of those, things that's hard to get used to because, normally we're 8, 9, 10 games into the season, if not more than that. So that was kind of strange. And then, it seems like we have daily reminders of just how fragile all this is and just how fortunate we are. And I say we, the Big Ten, I think, we're really lucky to have the daily testing available. But even so, there's just no guarantees that you're going to be able to keep, everybody's going to be able to stay safe. And, this is it's a very real issue. And unfortunately, it's kind of touching us on a daily basis.
Coach, you've got a 3-game win streak put together for a variety of reasons. Congratulations on that note. What are you seeing in a team that's averaging almost 42 points and giving up 7 to 10 a game in this 3-game strut?
The biggest thing I think is just, we're seeing daily improvement, and that's kind of what we've been asking for and striving for. And we were, prior to the season. It's not like it's a new phenomenon by any stretch, but it just seems like, all of a sudden things are starting to come together a little bit. Things are clicking for our players a little bit, not only on the game field, but it all starts on the practice field and meetings. So I think the guys are really learning how to prepare, really learning how to practice and practice efficiently because you can only be out there so long, especially the crazy schedule we've had. So we've been trying to be very mindful of that and respectful of that, but also maximizing the time that we do have. And ultimately, to me, the credit just goes to our players. I think we're getting good leadership. Our older guys are working hard. They're improving. And, it's only natural your younger guys are going to follow their lead when you have that kind of leadership being set. Not only from the seniors, juniors, but guys that have played. We got younger guys that played last year, too, and they're just helping model the kind of behavior you're looking for with a college football player.
Kirk, let's start with the offensive and defensive lines. They've really controlled the scrimmage play, and when you're blocking and tackling like those two groups are, it's easy to get off to a good start and maintain it, isn't it?
It is. It sure helps on both sides. And, I don't mind telling you, walking off the field 4 weeks ago, a little concerned about us on both sides of the line. It wasn't like we just tore it up in that game. So we got off to a decent start the first game, but that second game, that we were, soft against the run a little bit there, and then really didn't feel like we were doing much in the run game on the offensive side. So a lot of credit to those linemen on both sides, and we've had some injuries, some rotation, all that kind of thing. That everybody that's just kind of stepping up, they're improving. They're taking a lot of pride in what they're doing. I think they're starting to have a little fun doing it too. But all that being said, we go right back to square one on Friday. We got another big challenge in front of us.
the rushing game has really emerged. It's always been fairly solid, but Tyler Goodson has taken the cue off that excellent blocking the last few weeks anyway. He leads the Hawkeyes. He's number 2 in the Big Ten, approaching 500 rushing yards. And beyond that, the 1-2 punch of he and Mekhi Sargent, boy, I don't see any pouting there for lack of carries. Those two really work well together.
They really do, and I was going to mention that Mekhi ran really strong. He runs strong every week, but really strong last Saturday. Thought he was the guy kind of gave us a little bit of juice out there, a little octane. Excuse me, but I can't say enough about that whole room. I throw Ivory, Kelly Martin in there too. And, I think he's good enough to start for us. It's not an issue of his ability or the kind of guy he is, but, you can only split the load up so many ways. It's really tough to get 3 guys a lot of carries, but we're just, I can't say enough about all 3 of them. Obviously, Tyra's playing really well. So, those guys are doing a great job on the field. They're great teammates. They support each other. Nobody's jealous of the other guy, all that kind of thing. And also, Ivory and Mekhi are doing a great job on special teams. They're really having an impact there, and I think that's kind of represented the kind of guys we have on our team. I think it's kind of what I referenced a minute ago about talking about older guys who are not only playing their best, but they're giving their best and really setting a good example. And when you have 2 players like Mekhi and Ivory playing on special teams the way they are, that sends a really strong message to younger players on our team.
What was illustrative again last week, Kirk and Pody and I talked about it with more regularity, is your 2 fullbacks, Potamam and Palisard. Give us a little more background on those 2 young men, because they look more like guards or tackles when they're particularly down around the goal line. Man, they love to jump in there and knock people backwards.
Yeah, we knew a little bit about Turner coming out of the Chicago area, South Chicago, and comes out of a great program. So we thought he had a chance to maybe develop into a really good prospect. And then, Monty's from a place we're all very familiar with up in West Lyon. And, we've had a lot of great players out of there. LeVar, is from that part of the country, obviously played there. So, we felt really strongly about Monty when he came in here and thought he had a chance to really develop into a good fullback. So, we've had some good fullbacks here traditionally. This is kind of like the duo of Fleva and Cox. Those 2 guys were pretty effective out there and pretty good players and outstanding team guys. And I think that's what we're looking at with both Monty and Turner. And the good news is they're both young guys, so they've got a lot of football in front of them. We're just thrilled they're both there, and they very quietly play a big role in what we do offensively and also in special teams. Yeah, both sophomores, so they're going to be around for a couple years, and they're built similar, 6 foot, 6'1", about 245 pounds. So they have really planed upward here in the last few weeks, and that's good coaching. That's great effort on their part. I want to shift to the wide receivers, Kirk. Again, this is collectively an outstanding group, but Nico Reganey is really an intriguing character. Whether you post him outside or in the slot, he looks fast and he runs routes in a hurry, and I just keep waiting for this guy to bust out every week. Maybe I'm off base here, but I really like the way he plays football. Yeah, it shows you how smart we were. He was a high school senior. We liked him. Didn't quite have room in the class for him. So, and I can't remember, who all was in the class, but I got to think he probably could have fit in there somewhere. We didn't have room for him. He was good enough to go to prep school and stay with us. And we were able to recruit him back, and just really thrilled to have him here. He's a really good football player. He's tough. He's competitive. He's really tough to cover, one-on-one especially. So, he's really done a good job and just gets better with every practice, every game. So we're thrilled he's on the team. And as you alluded to, it's a good group, good room, good group of guys in there. Reganey's got 15 catches, averages 11 yards a catch. That's terrific about, Brandon and Amir, Tyrone. They're all up around that 10, 11-yard per catch average. Talk about balance, huh? Yeah, it's healthy. It's a healthy group. And, they all have a little different skill set. They're all a little different in terms of their abilities and capabilities, but they're all really good players. And, we've talked about Amir and Brandon a lot, playing when they were really young, probably before they were ready. But their growth and maturity, the development that they've gone through, it's fun to watch them. It's fun to watch them having success out there. And, we're still, I guess a little bit over halfway, or I guess we're at halfway right now. I'm losing track. This season's like really screwed up. But anyway, we're somewhere in the middle, and I think you're going to see all four of those guys make good contributions here down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the tight ends out. Sean Byer, I mean, you know what you have in Laporta. Sean Byer, who's now recovered from seemingly annual plaguing injuries, he flashed nicely against the Lions last week.
Yeah, it just came to me. We're a little bit over halfway. We've played 5 games. Okay, I'm trying to get caught up here. So, but anyway, that's one more exhibit, I guess, in the discussion about older guys. There's no doubt Sean's playing his best football of his career. He's had some injuries that have impeded his progress a little bit. Great attitude and, good skill set. And he really is playing well right now. The last couple of weeks he's been blocking better than he ever has in his career. And we felt like that was a matter of time. I think he's playing a lot more confidence now, and he's having fun out there. So between he and Sam, that gives you a pretty good 1-2 punch right now.
Coach, in the offensive line, some hot spots injury-wise. Kallenberger left the game, the right tackle, Mark Kallenberger, last week. Cole Banwert is staying healthy. He's had a history of injuries. What about that right side? What can you update us with tonight?
Well, knock on wood. I mean, that's kind of the way it's gone here. We lost Collershot and Coy, right a couple of weeks ago there, and it's part of football. Injuries, illnesses, whatever. So it's part of football, and so very quietly, some other guys emerged a little bit, and Mark jumped in there at right tackle, has done a really good job. Cody Ent's doing a really nice job at the left guard position, and Cole's playing his best football of his career. It's not even close. He's playing his best football. And then you've got 2 veteran guys with, Tyler Linderbaum and AJ out there. So, the group's playing well. We'll see what Mark can do. He may or may not be able to play this week. If he doesn't, Jack stepped in and did just fine. So he'll be the next man in if Mark's not able to go. And, we'll just keep pushing forward here. And we do get Kyler back. He'll be back. He's missed some time here, so we'll see how his conditioning looks. And then Coy Cronk, is going to give it a shot. We'll see how that looks too, until you – it's like any player, until you get out there in live action, it's really hard to, just say 100% where we're at. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Jack Plum from Green Bay and Cody Entz from Balsam Lake. One northeast Wisconsin, the other way up on the northwest side. You've mined some good linemen out of Wisconsin in the past. What do you like about these 2 young guys?
That's Tim Polisek country. He's a Wisconsin native and knows all the little towns and what have you. But they're both doing a good job. Cody was a multi-sport athlete, small school. And, he's really done a good job. We talked about Sean having some injuries, holding him back. Cody's had to fight that, too, the last couple of years, but he's been healthy this year. And I think, you watch him, he can do a lot of things. He's got a good skill set. And I think the most important thing, he's starting to gain some confidence, which to me was what he was lacking coming into this year. But he should feel good about what he's doing. He's done a lot of really good things on film and should feel good about that. And then Jack, was a tight end, kind of a linear tight end and basketball player out of Green Bay. Really good program up there, Bayport. And, we've watched him grow, each year. We thought it'd be a process, and that's what we've seen. I thought he did just fine Saturday when he jumped in there. Didn't look overwhelmed or, overly nervous about things. Just went out and played, and he should. I mean, he's practiced well. So, if he gets the call Friday, we'll expect him to play well, and I'm confident that he will.
You've raved for years about your out-of-season, your junior camp, where you discover a lot of guys like a Jack Plum, like a Cody Entz. What is it about that particular camp that seems to be a head and shoulders above many?
It really changed. I can't tell you what year it is. They allowed us to start. Guys could wear pads. So camp for linemen without pads. It's kind of hate to say it, but it's not a waste of money, but it's not a good the dollar value. I'll put it that way. So. It's one of those things you can't block without putting shoulder pads on. You can't play blocks without pads. So it's really given us a chance just to see guys work a little bit and see how they do after they get a little bit tired and those kinds of things, how competitive they like to be. We don't really expect them to be polished or groomed technique-wise. Why would they be? But, you just like to get a little feel for the way a player likes to go out and work. And, so it's been a really nice window. Not that you're 100% right in recruiting, nobody is, but gives you a little bit more of a feel. Plus, it allows the prospects to get a feel for the way we like to do things. And, either it's a good fit or not, but it gives everybody a chance to get, a little better feel on that one. But that's one of the things I haven't really thought a lot about it, but it's really, we got some interesting scenarios coming up here. We really feel good about our class that's committed to us. They're not signed, but they're committed to us.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been married for like 3 years with these guys. I mean, it's because of the pandemic, we had so much time to spend via Zoom, these virtual relationships, right? But so it's kind of, again, the optics are really strange. But then conversely, we didn't have a chance to have camps this past year. And a lot of prospects weren't able to play high school football or a limited schedule this fall. So as we look at the next class, it's going to be a really unique challenge, as we try to evaluate and figure all that out. And everybody's saddled with the same issues, but it's really, there's just been a lot of things about all of our lives, I'm sure, not just football coaches and players, but all of our lives that are a little bit different this year and a little bit, it's a little trickier to navigate some things.
Kind of like being in the middle of a tornado, in that funnel cloud, trying to figure out how to get out. Speaking of optics, is the early, with the COVID, with seemingly every date changed in the books, is the early signing period still pretty much intact?
You're probably asking
December?
the wrong guy. As far as I know it is, but I really, again, I've not been wired in on it.
And that's usually, second week in December?
The way I feel about our class, I think, I just asked that question to the staff today. I think our class feels great about us, and I know we feel really good about them. Those that played, and then those that weren't able to play, we still feel really good about the group. I just feel, if there's any good news here, we weren't doing any football after March 13th, with hands-on with our players. So it gave us a real opportunity to, really dig deeper in the recruiting part and spend a lot more time on the phone, on Zoom calls, all those kinds of things. So from that standpoint, we feel really good about this class, and whenever they're allowed to sign, they're going to sign. And we may add another player or two along the way. We'll see how that all works itself out. But, yeah, the challenge will be once we start looking at the next round of recruiting. That's going to be really interesting. But, again, we got a lot of time to think about it because after January 1st, we're not going to see our players till end of January or February, whatever it's going to be. So, and we can't go on the road. So it's really, again, a different world we're operating out of.
Yeah, I think they extended that dead period this week.
They did.
Yeah.
That I do know. Yeah, they got to push that thing back.
You've got that date circled, but I think that early signing period's been around, the 17th of December, somewhere in there, right before Christmas. So, yeah,
somewhere around finals week. Yep.
Well, hopefully you get the signatures on the paper and the ink dries. Coach, we'll take a break. We'll come back with more Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. He's in his office. We're in our office, the broadcast booth here at Kinnick Stadium, getting ready for Iowa, Nebraska at high noon on Friday here in Kinnick Stadium. Back with more Hawk Talk brought to you by View Rooftop right after this.
It all started with a grilled cheese sandwich. 2 simple pieces of bread, some butter, and a slice of American cheese. But after making it day after day, week after week, I hungered for more. Colby, provolone, Gouda. But Gouda wasn't good enough. I wanted great. I added tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos. If I could birth this gooey work of art in my tiny, modest kitchen, imagine what I could do in a gourmet chef's kitchen. So I called U.S. Bank about loaning me some extra cheddar. Now I had the mad cheese skill and a superior grill. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC insurance companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Staying connected means games can still feel like this, even if they actually sound like this. That's why U.S. Cellular is building a 5G network that works from outside to inside uninterrupted, so you can stay connected even if you aren't at the game. Right now, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. Check out uscellular.com for more info. U.S. Cellular. Upgrade to fair. Data may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Video streams at up to 480p DVD quality. Credit approval and auto-pay paperless billing required. Additional terms apply.
Experience the benefit of Blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of Blue. Wellmark Blue Dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
My name is Kelly Newenhouse, and I'm a corn farmer in Northwest Iowa. I want to take a moment to say thank you for supporting local farmers. It's no secret it's been a tough year for everyone, but every time you've chosen to fuel up with cleaner burning fuels like E15 or unleaded 88, you made a difference for a corn farmer just like me. It may seem like a small gesture, but it makes a difference to our state and shows we are stronger together. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Go to iowacorn.org for more ways you can help support Iowa's corn farmers.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz, brought to you by our friends at U.S. Cellular. Proud to be the official wireless sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. And by Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz, courtesy of Anheuser-Busch. Brought to you by Bud Light as well. Just remember, whenever there's a Hawkeye game in the neighborhood, there's a Bud Light there. And by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Thank you for supporting our local farmers. It's no secret it's been a tough year for everybody, but your support has not gone unnoticed. Every time you've chosen to fuel up with cleaner burning fuels like E15 or unleaded 88, you do make a difference for a corn farmer. May seem like a small gesture, but it makes a difference to our state and shows we are stronger together. You can reach us on Facebook at Voice of the Hawkeyes or on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. Kirk, we've had some people doing just that. One listener really picked up on our conversation about Nico Reganey. He really likes Nico too. And he asks, any chance of putting Nico into more speed patterns, I guess. He likes his speed and, I guess, position change more from the slot to the outside.
Yeah, not much sure. We foresee doing that a lot. He's really effective inside, and especially if they try to match somebody in man coverage on him. That's where I think he's pretty slippery. So, yeah, but I mean, we'll run down the field. Caught a nice seam ball the other day, last Saturday, down the middle. Nice throw by Petrus. So we're going to try to utilize his skills, his abilities, and try to do it with the whole group. It's good to have a couple guys that can do some things, certainly. So we're excited about that. But Nico's done a great job.
This is from Hayden's Mustache. I love some of these handles. Any thought to moving Justin Jacobs to rush end, defensive end? He's really a good-looking youngster at linebacker. He's got that frame, 6'3", 6'4", about 235 pounds right now.
Yeah, nothing in the immediate future. You never rule things out down the road, but it's been interesting this year. We talked about the offensive line issues with injuries, some rotation going on there, part of football. And then you think about, like, when we started out here, the linebacker position, basically, it was Nick Neiman and Barrington Wade were like our healthy guys. So we were down a couple quarts of oil there, and it was looking a little scary. Justin missed last week. He had an injury that held him out of competition. He's back right now. Had a good week of practice. We're happy about that. But we've got some guys like Nick and Barrington that are older guys, obviously, and experienced. Then you got Seth kind of in the middle there. You got Jack Campbell and Justin, both younger guys that we think are really good prospects. And so we're happy with that group right now. They're really playing well, productive. Kind of talked about the running backs and rotating a little bit, and Benson and Campbell have been rotating, both unselfish guys, both really good players, both good special teams guys. And Nick had like 1,600 tackles last Saturday. He was in on every play. So those guys are really working hard. Barrington's doing a great job on special teams. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're really pleased with Justin, and I think he's got some position flexibility, but that really is not in our thoughts at this point.
All right, thank you. Appreciate Hayden's mustache for checking in. Chester wants to know, Coach, who's been sticking out or standing out on scout teams through this different season, different fall?
Yeah, and a lot of guys, actually. A lot of the freshmen that aren't playing are down there being redshirted right now, and they get a good work. And talked about our improvement as a team. Part of that credit goes to the scout team guys on the look teams, because not a lot of glamour. They're running the other team's assignments, if you will, or schemes. That's who they're mimicking or trying to imitate. But we all also want to encourage them to, it's still football. So, work on getting better, work on your skill set, et cetera. And we have a lot of guys. I'll look over and the receivers are doing a good job, beating the secondary. That doesn't always make me feel real good, quite frankly. Like who got beat, what happened, what was the issue, that type of thing. But they've been doing a good job. The linemen are scrapping up there and all that kind of stuff. And then we got a bunch of guys on the defensive scout team. In fact, last week, we awarded the entire scout team with Player of the Week. They really did a great job, a phenomenal job as an overall group, helping our guys get ready. So it's not a glamorous job, but a lot of guys doing good work there. And two things: it helps us be a better football team on Saturdays. It also helps that individual become a good player. I always think back to Hawkinson. He was one of those guys always burning our defense when he was redshirted. And then 2 years later, he's the 9th guy picked in the draft. So that's a good illustration of players improve. And, you're always working. If you're working hard at what you're doing, you got a chance to get better. And, doesn't mean you're going to be the 9th guy in the draft 3 years later, but you never know. You just never know. That's what's fun about this.
Indeed. If you're good, you're going to get noticed either by the head coach at Iowa or some NFL scouts. Let's see. Where'd he go here? I had, I believe it's Sylvester. Yeah, Sylvester says on Twitter, Kirk, I feel fortunate as an alum class of 1974 that we have you and your staff. You graduate players, you let young players play, and you let your coaches coach. Well, I'm not saying that's easy to do, but that's why you hire the guys to coach, right? And recruiting, you get lucky sometimes, but you're basically out there 365 looking for that next generation of Iowa player, and you got to have a nose and an eye for that.
Yeah, I think my 9 years here as an assistant really, helped pave the way for any success we may have enjoyed here the last 22 years. And first of all, you get a feeling and appreciation for what this program's about, how it was built by a master builder, and, what were his, key points. I don't want to call them secrets, but what were the things that he deemed to be important. And, I think, I think all of us that worked on that staff took good notes and really learned a lot from Coach Fry, so that's where it all starts. Then I've been fortunate in my career. I've worked for Coach Fry and then two different individuals in the National Football League. And in my mind, all three of them are Hall of Fame coaches. I don't know that Coach Marchibroda will ever go in, but Hall of Fame man, Hall of Fame coach. Coach Belichick, Coach Fry, both obviously are going to be Hall of Fame coaches. Coach Fry already is. And one thing you appreciate, you hope that the head coach you work for hires good people, and then you hope that that guy lets you work and do what you're hired to do. And so those are the people that modeled for me. And a lot of the beliefs I have, I think, have been shaped by my experiences, And I know as an assistant, I always appreciated being allowed to do my job, and getting supported by the head coach. And so, it's something I try to do. And, just the other thing is it's a really good place to coach. Iowa's a pretty good place. So I feel pretty fortunate, too. Thank you.
Great fans, too. And, boy, you talk about three mentors: Belichick, Marchibroda, and Fry. That's the trio that you'd want, anybody would want to work for, I would think, or at least be tutored by. And that's the trifecta, Kirk.
Yeah, and it's all dumb luck too. I mean, it's amazing.
That helps.
I knew nothing about the Iowa program in 1980 or 81. The spring of 81. So the last thing I ever dreamt of or envisioned was coming to Iowa, living in Iowa, and then staying at Iowa. Quite frankly, it just I had no idea. And no offense to Iowa, just I was from Pittsburgh and didn't know there was much life beyond Chicago. Quite frankly, so you just never know where life's going to take you. And same thing with Coach Belichick. And, it was a call out of the blue. And, next thing you know, I'm on a plane to interview with him. And, but it was a different interview than the Iowa one, that's for sure. That wasn't much fun. And then when Coach Marchibroda took over, I was pretty dead set on not going to Baltimore. That was one thing I was pretty certain of because I had some frustrations, but there were some changes made internally in the organization I thought were healthy for the organization. And Coach Marchibroda is a tremendous person. The other key component there was they moved Ozzie Newsome to the GM position. And that to me was a key move of that franchise. And boy, did that pay off. Ozzie's a Hall of Fame player. He should be a Hall of Fame general manager too. So, that's why that organization, those guys got it off to a great start. And, they're still going strong.
Couple Super Bowl wins, I'd say. By the way, we're going to have Marshall Yanda on our pregame show Friday morning. He turned out to be pretty good.
Speaking of potential Hall of Famers, right? There's another guy.
First ballot.
Oh, boy.
First ballot.
And, it just, had no idea how good he was, no idea. And you talk about an Iowa player, right? Marshall's not the prettiest car on the lot, maybe. It's a beauty contest. He wasn't the prettiest in his stance, wasn't the fastest maybe or this or that. You talk about a football player from day one. That's all this guy, what's a lineman do? Block guys. Well, he did that. And then, the energy he just came radiated from him to his teammates. What a guy, what a football player, what a human being. We're so lucky, so fortunate that he, ended up playing in our program. It's just, again, dumb luck, but boy, oh boy, wow.
Dumb luck doesn't hurt either, Kirk. But
no, it's not all bad.
Pride of Jones County and Anamosa, Marshall Yanda, who, as Kirk says, some kind of football player, 13 years in the NFL, and his short stint here at Iowa. Where did he come out of? Was it Nyack and Mason City?
Nyack, yeah. Before they shut the program down.
Yeah, that's.
He asked him about the story. He tells a great story about staying there the summer before his. He wanted to get his credits so he could leave there in December after graduate and be on a campus that January. So I think it was he and three of his teammates chose to stay there that summer. Said it was no air conditioning. They're eating a hamburger helper and tuna and they're just, you can envision this, right? But I heard him tell that story when they retired his jersey at Anamosa High School. He told that story to their team and to the people that are there. The whole town was there. It was really impressive. But that gives you some insight into the way Marshall's wired. And, he's just a phenomenal guy.
He's got a
phenomenal guy.
And now a beautiful family. And I was just sitting here thinking it would take a lot of hamburger and tuna helper to fill that guy up.
I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you a quick story, too. Now, we're talking, right? This is a talk show, so we're going to
your show.
Shannon, his wife, won my wife over in that we were up there. It was a Sunday in June, I believe. And so Mary said, hey, what about the Super Bowl ring? You must have... where do you guys keep it? All that kind of stuff. She goes, oh, you want to see it? I got it right here. So she had her little, they just had a baby, right? So she had her little baby thing there, and opens up the little zipper thing and pops out the ring. And Mary's like, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, just normal, down to earth people. They're not at all pretentious. Just success had not spoiled either of them.
Yeah, they're both small town farm folks, and Super Bowl rings just like having a hammer hanging on the wall out in the barn to them, right?
No big deal. Just, hey, part of the deal.
Look forward to getting caught up with Marshall. He'll probably be in a deer or a duck blind at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning waiting for the sun to come up, but we'll have him on here between.
I'm curious what he weighs. Probably about 230, 240. I don't know. He looks like a movie star right now.
I saw him a couple months back. We had a great visit at his house, and we're getting caught up. He had just moved back to Iowa. Yeah. And I didn't know him when I walked in the living room. I thought somebody broke into his house, but he said he was 242 at that time, and he was going out on a cross-country bike ride, those road bikes with the big fat tires. And, the guy has totally changed his body and looks just as mean as ever with that red hair of his or that auburn-colored hair of his. But he's a great representative of your football program in the University of Iowa. Still drives that old pickup truck.
The blue one. He used to set my clock by it out there, when it pulled in. It was workout time.
I don't know what year it is, but it's the warranty was up a few years ago.
I think that one's got sentimental value to him. That's just my guess.
Indeed. We'll come back with more with Coach Ferentz. Good night to talk this type of subject matter with Thanksgiving tomorrow. We're also thankful for all of our families and our wonderful friends. Back with Kirk right after this. Iowa, Nebraska coming up Friday. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz.
Now order your groceries online and get them even faster with Hy-Vee Aisles Online same-day pickup. Just choose the Get It Faster option for only $9.95 and pick up your groceries in as little as 2 hours. Plus, we've added even more pickup times to choose from. You'll find the same great deals as in-store. Free pickup on orders over $30 and no-contact pickup and delivery. Download the Hy-Vee Grocery app today and pick up groceries in as little as 2 hours. Some restrictions apply.
Hawk fans, this is Ed Podolak. Whether I'm relaxing on Flamingo Beach in Costa Rica or fishing north on the Boundary Waters, one Iowa product I'll always bring is my Grizzly Cooler. Grizzly Coolers are made in Decorah and are perfect for your next fishing trip, the big hunt, or tailgate. The Grizzly lineup offers the perfect balance of durability and performance that is expected in a made-in-the-USA premium cooler. And you can even order Hawkeye Grizzly Coolers and drinkware. Order yours now at grizzlycoolers.com.
Tomorrow. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, as we have for over 100 years. So you can look forward to it too. Through growth and innovation, we are planning ahead, so you can enjoy life without looking back. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Auto, home, farm, and business insurance. Talk to an agent today or visit GrinnellMutual.com. Trust in Tomorrow is a registered trademark of Grinnell Mutual Reinsurance Company.
We understand that sometimes the daydreamer is the visionary. Sometimes the rambler is actually the mentor. And sometimes the eccentric is really the change maker. We understand that greatness is often misunderstood, even underappreciated. But it is greatness that defines us and drives us forward. At Great Southern Bank, we are proud to support all the many individuals who make our community truly great. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC.
Iowa's medical cannabis program has new products available to you now due to the removal of the 3% THC limit. THC vapes with and without terpenes are now available at dispensaries across Iowa. Medical cards are available to Iowans with chronic pain, PTSD, and many other approved conditions. Fight pain in a new way. Getting your medical cannabis card here in Iowa is easy. Just talk to your doctor and join thousands of Iowans using medical cannabis today. Google Iowa Medical Cannabis, CANNABIS. Feel better, live better with Iowa Medical Cannabis.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination. Special thanks to Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're this week's Nebraska game sponsor. Chris and the gang, and our partner in health, Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, has proudly served the Hawkeye State for more than 80 years and continues their support of Iowa football here in 2020. This season, choose the health insurance more Hawkeye fans trust to keep them covered. Visit wellmark.com to get a game plan today. Thank you, Wellmark. Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz is also brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers and the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Thank you for supporting local farmers. It's no secret it's been a tough year for everybody, but when you continue to support our farmers, like fueling up with cleaner burning fuels, as an example, E15 or unleaded 88, you make a difference for a corn farmer. It may seem like a small token or gesture, but it makes a difference to our state and shows we are stronger together. We're geared up in our Authentic brand apparel tonight. I got the rain jacket on. It was raining pretty good earlier today as we were heading into Carver Hawkeye Arena. An Authentic brand takes care of Eddie and I on game day. It's a great Iowa company making Hawkeye apparel for men, women, and kids. It's the apparel we wear every game day. Find Authentic brand at local retailers or order online at authentic-brand.com. Be authentic. Look authentic. Feel authentic. Authentic brand. Authentic-brand.com. wellmark.com. Back to Coach Ferentz here. We've got about 20 minutes remaining. We've had a couple of late tweets come in. Coach, Nora wants to congratulate you on your 100th Big Ten win. And Coach poo-poos or downplays the individual plaudits, at least on where he's coming from. But this one's pretty special, Kirk. You've got Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, and now you're chasing Amos Alonzo Stagg. I think Amos was one of those who invented the doggone game of football back at the turn of the century. But you're number 4 all-time in the Big Ten in victories, number 4 all-time in total victories. And I know you'll feel better about this or look more at those plaudits when you've got your feet up and you're in the recliner. But congratulations. It's a rarefied air, 100 wins in any conference, let alone this one.
Yeah, thank you. I just, I'm more focused on one-on-one right now for obvious reasons. But, it's really, it's really nice. And, I got there a little slower than those other guys and kind of parallels my playing career. As my coach, Red Kellen, once said, he says, you may be small, but you're slow. So it's just, it's kind of been one of those tags I've had my entire life. But in all seriousness, as I alluded to earlier, it's really all about, being in the right place with the right people. And that, that's what I've learned over years is that, I discovered in the early 80s, it's a pretty good place to be a football coach. If you like football and you like good people and a good community, a good state, our whole state's a community from my vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good deal. And then, one thing I also learned when I was in the Yankee conference, I didn't mention that part of my career. Being there for 3 years, I used to go to the meetings annually, and longtime coach Tubby Raymond was at Delaware. And when I was playing college football, we used to play their team every year, and they'd beat us. They had a great program at Delaware for a long time.
The Blue Hens.
Yeah, Blue Hens. I don't know if he was there 35, 40 years, whatever. But one thing I noticed about him after watching him for 3 years, there are a lot of people, and I'm sure it's true in all professions. I only know coaching. There are a lot of people that aren't smart enough to figure out when they have a good job. And I always got the impression Coach Raymond understood that. He was in a good place. He had a good life, and was able to enjoy what he was doing, his profession, but he was also, able to raise his family. And they had the beach right there. They weren't far from the ocean. And the things he liked in life, he had them available there. So, you learn from everybody in your career. And that's another lesson I learned. And I think Coach Fry learned that too when he got here. Probably like me, I don't think he envisioned spending a lot of time in Iowa, while growing up in Texas. And, you just never know. It's a neat thing about life. There's 100 of those, no, probably about 1,000 of those stories in the hospital the last 20 years. I'm always curious when I meet doctors over there, how many of them came here, did their residency or, intern, whatever they did here and figured out like, this is pretty good, even though they weren't from the Midwest, they totally get caught by surprise. And next thing they're here, 20 years, 25 years. So it's pretty neat. I think it's one of the phenomena about this university.
I agree with you, Coach. Nora, thank you for checking in on Coach's 100th win. Nathan wants to know about Coy Cronk's status for Saturday. We did touch on that.
So do I. Yeah.
We did touch.
I'm joking, but, we talked about it a little bit earlier. He seems like he's doing better. Had a good week of practice. We had to be very limited this week because we just played a really physical game, really hard-fought physical game on Saturday, traveled. So this is a short week. We always kind of make sure we're really, condensed with what we do. And it's like a young player, you never know what a young player is going to do till they get in there and actually start playing. Well, this is kind of similar. He's coming off an injury that, obviously bothered him, kept him out of the lineup here for a little bit. So, we'll probably let him give it a try here Friday, but, we just got to wait and see what he can do. And if, in fact, he can hold up, A, and then B, how long can he hold up if he, is he totally through this thing? But he's an older guy. I'm sure he's looking at the clock saying, hey, I got to get back out there. So
sure,
we'll see. We all want him to play, but I just don't know if it's realistic. We'll see on Friday.
Well, you got nice depth in that offensive line again this year, and it's been called on to this point, but hopefully Coy can get out there sooner than later. Before we take a break, A. Seller checks in on Twitter. Coach, any chance Nixon will get to run the ball in a goal line situation? I knew the William Perry comparison was going to come up eventually.
Well, yeah, one of my high school / beyond friends, Todd Turper, a name that means nothing to you.
Todd Turper.
But anyway,
is that his real name?
We go back a ways. He texted me after the game and said, you get him on the goal line offense. So Todd, by the way, went to Pitt, was an excellent athlete at Pitt. And so I don't think he minds seeing us win Saturday because Pitt and Penn State just don't get along. But, yeah, he came up with that idea. And since then, I've had about 4 people ask that. And, Davion's barely tolerable right now. He's got a head. He can't fit through the door. So I don't know if we start giving him carries, that might just be too much for all of us to tolerate.
That's well said. Well spoken. We'll keep him right.
That was a pretty impressive play, I got to tell you.
Oh,
that was impressive.
Oh, my. I'd never even heard of the Euro step until it was all over social media Saturday night. Euro step.
Carl Jackson said the old limp leg. That used to be the term back in the day,
Looked like a polka to me. And he, I think Davion, he's from Kenosha. He's from Wisconsin, where I think they invented the dance. So I think he'd be a pretty good polka dancer.
There you go.
All right, we'll take another break here and come back and wrap it up with Coach Ferentz. After a pause here on Hawk Talk, we're coming to you live from the Hanson Performance Center on the campus of the University of Iowa, as well as our broadcast booth here at Kinnick Stadium. We want to thank all of our sponsors like Wellmark. Enjoy peace of mind in these changing times with the Medicare supplement plan that 9 out of 10 stay with year after year from Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Visit wellmark.com, benefit of blue. That's wellmark.com/benefit of blue. And podcast fans, our numbers have been climbing. Search your favorite podcast platforms and please subscribe to the official podcast of the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's called the Fight for Iowa podcast. Delighted to host that every week. We've got coaches McCaffrey and Bluter on this week. We had Dan Gable last week. Always interesting guests, athletes and coaches, presented by our friends at the Iowa Lottery. The podcast is also available on HawkeyeSports.com. Again, this week's guest, Hawkeye women's basketball coach Lisa Bluter. We'll get an updated score on Iowa and Northern Iowa. They're playing over at Carver Hawkeye Arena right now. And Hawkeye men's basketball coach Fran McCaffrey share their insight on what lies ahead this season for Iowa basketball. Back to more Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz, sponsored View Rooftop right after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. That's right, $500 off the latest phones with no hidden requirements, no hidden plan requirements, no hidden phone trade-ins, and no hidden... You get the idea. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Experience the benefit of blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of blue. Wellmark Blue Dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
The wait for the holidays is over, America. It's time to make some joy. And we're here to help with the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event. We're offering the best deals of the season across the Ford lineup, so you can road trip with the whole family comfortably in a Ford Expedition. Bring home a tree that's bigger than you ever have with a built Ford Tough F-150. And find new ways to make the holidays bright this year when you visit your local Ford dealer. The joy is up to you, America, so let's get to it. Ford, Built for the Holidays.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialists right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
A few minutes remaining in tonight's Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz. Iowa, Nebraska at noon Friday. Here at Kinnick, we'll be on the air at 10 o'clock with our pregame coverage. While the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series is on hold for this season, Iowa's corn farmers will continue to stand behind this unique series and everything it stands for, because here in Iowa, we grow corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Congratulations to the farmers through the derecho and everything else that had happened this COVID-filled 2020. The numbers show a great crop being put in the bin or on the market here a little bit later this fall. And that's because of Iowa's hard-working farmers indeed. We're brought to you tonight by View Rooftop. Experience a high-energy rooftop bar with spectacular views of downtown Iowa City. View Rooftop, located on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn in Iowa City. It features a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. Open all day on Hawkeye football game days like this weekend. View Rooftop provides a memorable experience with food, music, and fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. The number for reservations, 319-519-4650. Set up your View Rooftop reservation. Coach, snapshot from your view of Nebraska. I know you weren't fooled by Penn State's 0-4 mark a week ago. You're certainly not fooled by a 1-3 with the Scott Frost team.
Not at all. They've got a lot of good players, and I know they've played two quarterbacks this year. A little bit like last week's opponent. We didn't know which quarterback we'd see. Figured you might see both, and that's what happened. And they're a little different style, but they're similar in that they're both guys. Both Penn State guys hurt you with the run, ran the throw, and same thing with the guys from Nebraska. So they're I would say they're better runners than what we saw last week, and that's a little disconcerting. So, that caused us some problems last week, and now we've got our hands full again here. So I don't know that it matters which one's in there. They're both pretty dynamic, both pretty dangerous, and that's where it all starts. They're pretty veteran with that offensive line. They've had some injuries at the back position. I don't know, who's going to be in, who won't be, and a little bit young at the receiver position. But they can make plays. They're dynamic and explosive. That's a concern. And then, on the defensive side, they're aggressive. They've got some big bodies up front. The linebackers are active, and they're active in that back end. So, in a nutshell, last two games since Coach Frost has been there, last play of the game decides the game. So my guess is we're looking at the same thing, probably go right down to the wire, and, hopefully we can prevail one more time. But it hasn't been easy the last 2 years, and I expect the same thing on Friday.
It's come down to Keith Duncan field goals, and it's a trophy game, so you should expect the unexpected.
Yeah, you never know, and I know they've got a lot of pride. I think our guys have a lot of pride. It's not a natural rival, if you will, from the state border standpoint, and just natural that both states would be interested in it. So. It's got all the makings, and plus, playing on Friday, I really kind of like it. I think it's just kind of gives us a national audience. I think that's a good thing. And, at this point in the year, it's a little bit more realistic than trying to do it in September, although we weren't doing anything in September. But, so it's not conflicting with high school football. I think it's a great deal and should be a great game. It sounds like great weather, too, which is, for late November. No snow on the ground and sunshine. That's pretty good.
Thanks, Kirk. We'll see you Friday.
Thank you, Gary.
Coach Ferentz, I'm Gary Dolphin. Thanks for tuning in tonight to Hawk Talk with the head coach. 10 o'clock pregame coverage coming up on Friday morning. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, you've been listening to Hawk Talk, presented by View Rooftop Iowa City. Also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is proud to be the official wireless sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Hawkeye Sports Network.